I find that living life has been analogous to learning the roads of West Virginia. I can recall a time when I had lived here for about 3 years already, and I was going from Princeton to Athens. And there's a road that goes straight there. And while I knew Athens, I had never gone to it from that particular direction. So I took a different way that made a giant triangle that put us directly back on the road that we had been on in the first place, unbeknownst to me. There were experienced West Virginians in the car who didn't say anything, because they couldn't have told me. People could tell me where things go from what, and until I explore that way, I don't know it very well. But once I do, I connect places that I didn't even know were connected in those ways. For a long time, there was 2 roads out of Hinton, but I always wondered where they went. Well, now I know that they go home. They go where I currently live. But I lived here for 5 years before I went down those roads. And now I know them very well. Now I can drive them in my mind if I had to, and know all the turns and the landmarks. So life is like this. When quested with explaining any philosophy or ideology to others in means of teaching, I find there's a line where I realize that so much of life learning is completely relative and individual. And I could tell young people which way to go, but until they go that way themselves, it's I wouldn't say pointless, because it's nice foreshadowing, I suppose, but it's not as useful as, I don't know, perhaps giving them a car jack and a tire iron, or teaching them how to change their oil. I hope this analogy still stands. Well, I guess I'll ask you, my friends. I'm designing a Young Women's Empowerment week, camp, and this has been my dilemma. How many roads must a woman walk down before you can call her a woman? As an adult now, knowing that nobody knows everything and nobody stops learning, it's new to have grown-up authority, seemingly, to say which way they might go. But what I wish to do is to help. So in that, I ask you for help. What are the things that you learned in life by doing that you would impart to others if you could? And what would be fun ways to teach those things? Because while I'm great at talking, I cannot lecture these girls for a week. I know that there has to be activities. And I know some of you know camp things already. I worked at a camp once, but I taught ceramics. I didn't really get out much. So leave in the comments or reply with your own video or do whatever you want. This is a new style of format, but I just had that thought while driving through, this most beautiful state that we reside in and share as a home. I really liked, shout out to Trevor from Open Mic and One Voice Project on Stages, yay! Sang the national anthem at the Capitol on the last day of the teachers' strike. And I loved what he said in his post about it, about how the people here are the parts that shine brightest. And, we live in a beautiful place, but it's the people who are the mountains, who are standing tall and, unshakable. But I know that's not true. I know in this particular time of life, we're all pretty shaken up. But, together we're a strong foundation. I'm trying to help connect bridges and people together to make communities what they're supposed to be, I hope. And I'm proud of you, all of you, for being on that journey with me. So it's been a rough week. I think you saw my last video was the beginning of it. It stayed like that for a few days. I'm on the other side of that now intentionally. I'm breathing, I'm drinking water, I'm countering my negative thoughts with a slightly positive one too. I'm doing affirmations. I'm doing everything that works for me, even when it's hard to do, and even when it's hard to remind myself that it's worth doing. I'm settling back into my flow, and I hope that all of you are too. So stay strong, keep breathing, keep hydrating. Remember that you're not alone, and you're part of this puzzle or tapestry or whatever philosophy you'd like to signify it as. Your part's important and valid and worthy and loved. So have a beautiful day, guys and gals.